let's speak to Obaidullah Baheer. He's a lecturer of transitional justice at the American University in Afghanistan. Good to have you with us. Clearly, the Taliban has been escalating its offensives in Afghanistan. What would be the consequences if it did manage to gain control of a major urban centre like Kandahar?
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me. This is the second phase of the Taliban offensive. They had promised that a second phase would be coming out, which would include their push for cities. The idea is to take away the capacity of the Afghan government to govern and sort of put it on hold. The eventual push would be to cut off routes to Kabul as well, which would necessarily take away the capacity of the government. And the idea is just to add on pressure. And I think the ultimate goal is just to expect the government to give in, expect a resignation from Ashraf Ghani. But with this speech that the president gave today, it seems unlikely that he would do that unless he is promised democratic transition in power.
Yeah, President Ghani says he has a security plan. He's presented a security plan to Parliament to deal with the Taliban offensive. Details are very scarce, though. Is the government in a position to take on the Taliban?
I think it would be unfair to dismiss the Afghan Defense Forces. They are well trained, they are well equipped. The problem is something that Ashraf Ghani admitted to. The president said that the problem wasn't resources, the problem was its management. The Afghan government republic is going to learn through time as to how to manage this. Yes, they have been vague on the details. We haven't seen much improvement on the ground, but they are naming a timeline of 6 months. And it appears that they expect a stalemate in the fighting to occur at that time. We might actually see a change in the way the Taliban fight with the spring being over. The movement and the concentration might be on different regions of Afghanistan at that time. So I guess the hope is that they can sustain and control the situation, which were the exact words that President Ashraf Ghani used. However, we don't see practical changes on the ground as per this new military strategy.
President Ghani also blamed Washington for the deteriorating security in Afghanistan. He said US troops were being pulled out too abruptly. But he must have always known that a pullout was on the cards at some point. At what point would Afghanistan be ready for it? Why aren't they ready for it now?
There are quite a few contradicting statements here. We saw President Ashraf Ghani declare much earlier saying that the Afghan Defense Forces were ready to take over the security. They were able to keep off and ward off the Taliban. Then we saw him a few weeks ago claim that he had ousted the foreign troops from Afghanistan. And now we see him complaining about how the withdrawal was a surprise to them. This was not a one-day affair. This was building up for years. The Afghan government should have seen it coming. Maybe it was all based on a dying hope that the United States might change its mind last minute. There were even rumors the other day that American troops had landed in Kandahar, which were rumors at the end of the day. But there always was this hope that the United States might not completely withdraw. Yes, the withdrawal was done incorrectly, irresponsibly. The unconditional withdrawal sort of fed into the impending victory narrative that the Taliban were trying to project. And I guess the idea of the 6 months of resistance is to see that momentum that the Taliban are currently enjoying to die off. And then maybe we will have more of an equilibrium or a stalemate that sets in.
Great to get your analysis there. Thank you very much indeed, Obaidullah Baheer.